it's always a little frustrating to get these things going, but once they go, it's fine. Uh,
And she was our little gift. We
yeah,
always say, because I was 41 when she was born.
really. Okay. And how long have you been married for?
Since 87. So it'll soon be 30 or maybe 40 years, won't
40 years. Yeah, be 40
it?
next year.
Next year, it'll be 40 years.
Yep. So, and can you pull just a little bit close? You can actually what you can do is you can angle the bottom out and the mic towards you, and then yep. So, been married 40 years, 3 kids, 2 older boys, daughter, and so did she graduate this year or last year?
She graduated in last year or year before last. She
Okay.
graduated year before last, and she went to Western
Mm-hmm.
and band.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just got tired of everything that was going on at school, and she ended up getting a job at Walmart, and then just dropped out of school and just working at Walmart.
Sure.
She figured out she could make just as much working at Walmart than she could be teaching
Mm-hmm.
band director and have a whole lot less hassle
Yeah.
and debt.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of the challenge. I know a lot of people feel like we pushed uh college onto kids instead of, like going to like trade school or even just directly into the workforce into something they enjoy. And I think not that you have to figure out what it is you want to do super early, but being afforded the opportunity to figure out what it is that you enjoy or what it is that's going to allow you to support the lifestyle that you are trying to live. I think that's the route to go.
Yeah, that's one of the things Joshua was always. Um, I don't know what the word is about it. Of course, they both worked with me on the construction side during the summers and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And Joshua never did like it.
Mm-hmm.
He always wanted the office job,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "I'm going to school," and which he did. And he's now works for the foster program
Okay.
for the state. And but he owns his own home, and anytime they have a problem or they want to do something, he knows how to do it.
Right.
And he's appreciative that he learned it, even though he didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It still means something that he knows how to do it. And kind of the same way with Sydney during COVID when they were out of school, she was working in the shop
Mm-hmm.
with us, and she knows how to operate and can make about anything she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just having that knowledge and capability to be able to do those things.
Sure. Yeah. And so Josh, you said he works kind of in the foster. So is he a social worker or how does he, like, where
It's
does he fall within that umbrella, I
it's
guess?
special needs,
Okay.
and but he does work for the state now. He did work for another company there in Somerset, but he works for the state now.
Gotcha. And what about Matthew? What does he do?
He's more of a stay-at-home dad now.
Mm-hmm.
With they have a son that has a heart condition, and he takes care of him most of the time. And he's cutting firewood and doing other things like that,
Sure.
raising a garden, and
Yeah, just staying busy more.
mm-hmm.
But at the home at the house, and there's nothing at all uh wrong with that. I think I saw him out at a restaurant in Glasgow once. Him and his wife, and I think it would have been his little boy. That's been a few months though. But I know you wanted to come on and kind of talk about the wooden casket, which uh, that was that business has come in since before I moved back here, and so I'm going into this, completely unknowing of like what it is outside the name and probably what the name implies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just turn it over to you, and if I have questions or comments, I'll chime in.
Well, we're starting our 8th year.
Mm-hmm.
It don't seem like it'd be possible that we've been there 7 years, but we This all started, I don't know, about 15 years ago with my dad. Of course, he used to work with me on the construction side, and he had gotten disabled where he couldn't work all the time. But we had a small shop in his garage where we'd done some woodworking and whatever. And he decided he wanted to make his and my mom's caskets so that we wouldn't have that expense.
Mm-hmm.
So he ordered a plan from Rockler, and over time he had his and hers both made.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he made his first, and he had it stored in a little cabin. And anytime anybody would come visit before they leave, he'd say, "Come here, I got to show you my box."
Yeah.
And he was proud of it.
Sure.
And then he had mom's about 90% complete when he passed away. And then I had to finish hers. And when she passed away, and put the quilt and the lining and everything in it. But I started making a few on weekends and rainy days and stuff like that, just to have for family and different church people and
Mm-hmm.
close friends and whatever, just have some. I had 8 made up and had them in a storage unit over at Travis's.
Mm-hmm.
And we were driving down Main Street and saw a sign on the door there that for rent.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped and called, and it was Debbie Williams
Yes.
on the building.
Yep. Very
And
nice lady, by the way.
and she wanted us in there.
Yes.
And when we told her what we were going to do and everything, and she gave us a real good deal on
Oh, yeah.
rent for the building just because she wanted us in there.
Yes.
And the next day, I loaded my trailer up and hauled all of them and went and bought tables and set them up in there.
Yes.
Been there ever since.
Yeah. Debbie's very nice. I was speaking to her about rent property to for my private practice, and I could just tell that she wanted to she cares about like downtown, and she wants businesses in there, but she wants like quality businesses too. And she's just very, you can just tell she cares quite a bit about what she has to offer down there. I don't know if she showed you the suites above the flower shop.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, of course, that's all happened. We were there before all that happened.
Yeah.
We've kind of joked around and whatever that we kind of take credit for the revitalization of, because we were the first ones to do anything.
Sure.
I mean, the Chinese restaurant was there beside us, but we were basically the first business to start back up. And then they moved the flower cart next to us. And then they're remodeling the old dime store now. And of course, we have the new real estate company there next to us too.
Yeah.
And downtown has really changed a lot in the last 7 years.
When did the Chinese restaurant leave?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. It's changed quite a bit. Everything has since. So, I mean, the layout's the same, but just what is actually there. Downtown has changed a whole lot since I moved back. But so you started out finishing your mother's casket. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest ones that I've done. Because she had quilted the quilt that she wanted. She picked out that she wanted to use, but that was hard to make that first cut to cut that quilt up to do the lining. Which that's just what we use quilts to do the linings with. And we offer the families the opportunity, if they have an heirloom of a quilt of their own that they would like to bring in, and we've had several. We did one that was a UK quilt, and it had signatures from Kyle Macy and different ones on the quilt.
Yes. So you're able, like if I wanted to stroll in there and work with you, I could design my own. Is that kind of the idea behind it all?
That is one of our greatest things, is the personalization.
Yes.
We want to personalize them as much and make them mean something. And when you get one from a funeral home, they're made in a factory. And from my understanding, most of them are made in either Mexico or China now. And it's just, these have meaning.
Right.
And that has seemed to be, and the fact that they're handmade,
Mm-hmm.
those two facts have actually seemed to be more important to people than the cost,
Yeah.
even though we're typically about half of a match, something similar
Sure.
at the funeral home.
So how did like you finished your mom's and then you wanted to continue on to kind of make some more for your family and then um at what point did you start to consider like this could actually be like a business or something that could be what it is today?
We had already, see, we moved in July, and then my mother passed away in December of that year. So she was still alive for our grand opening.
Okay.
And, then she passed away in December. She was already sick at that point, and that was one of the things that I did was using the quilts for the linings. I I knew how I wanted to do them, but I didn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I cut out the pieces for one, and I took him down to her house, and I said, "Show me how to do this."
Okay.
And she showed me because she quilted and she used to be a seamstress and sewed for people. And she showed me how to do everything. And that's what I've been doing all of them ever since. We have a lot of people that'll think Stacy's the one does the sewing, but
Mm-hmm.
she'll tell you real quick that she
Yes.
don't do the sewing.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing this morning. I've been lining
Yeah.
a casket for someone that's on hospice. They came in yesterday and wanted to go ahead and have everything ready to go
Mm-hmm.
whenever the time came.
And I think it's so interesting that your mom taught you that. And so like in a way, it's kind of like she's still indirectly serving people
Mhm.
around her because what she taught you, you're now using to
Mhm.
serve, and that's a testament uh to well to her, but to the fact that what we do has a lasting impact
Mhm.
and a continuing impact.
And then especially if you're using like an heirloom quilt to the family, like the
Hmm.
grandmother done or something like that,
Yeah.
then you have a lot of people that don't want to cut them up.
Hmm.
They don't. They want to preserve their quilts, but it just depends. I've actually had some where I know one where they took the quilt off of the bed
Hmm.
before where the person was real close to passing, and they took the quilt off the bed and washed it and
Hmm.
brought it to me.
Yeah. So basically the item that comforted them as they were on that journey to
Hmm.
the other side, that then becomes part of their final rest.
And a lot of them are wore out
Yes.
and stained, and they'd
Hmm.
be clean, but they're stained and
Right.
just wore out. But
Right.
that's the history, to that family.
Sure. Yeah. So, walk me through kind of like I guess the process of, uh, of assembling a casket. And I'm not saying, you have to tell me about the blueprints or, the different cuts and stuff, but just kind of like, how much time and effort goes into a single casket.
It takes me a week
Okay.
from start to finish, and that's starting off with rough lumber,
Mhm.
which I plane all my lumber and starting with just rough sawn lumber.
Mhm.
And I have in the basement of that building is just stacked full of lumber, and I have my heavy equipment in the basement, the planer and joiner and table saw, where I do all my rough work. And
Mhm.
then I bring everything upstairs and do all the assembly there in the showroom.
Yeah.
And everything is one piece at a time.
Mhm.
I mean, there's nothing that's assembly line or manufactured. Each piece is cut individually for each casket.
Yeah.
The no two are ever alike.
Yeah.
Even though they may start off the same size, no two are ever alike.
And where do you get the lumber from?
We started off, a lot of it was my dad had stored in the barn.
Mhm.
And after he passed away and we got ready to sell the farm, I hauled lumber for 2 weeks, just
Mhm.
hauling it out of his barn. But I have gotten some from farm auctions.
Mm-hmm.
I watch farm auctions and buy some like that. And then we had gotten cedar from the Amish, and I've gotten quite a bit from Anderson's.
Mm-hmm.
And we just watch wherever we can find lumber a lot of time because we don't do a lot of we don't want really first quality lumber
Mm-hmm.
because I want the character of the knots, and with our barn, especially our barnwood caskets, you want
Mm-hmm.
the character,
Sure.
and the knots and the splits and everything just adds more of that character to it.
Yeah. And has anybody ever like brought their own lumber that they want you to use?
Yes, we've actually done several. I have two there in the store now for it's my cousin and her husband. They're both in their 80s. They wanted to go ahead and have theirs pre-made, and they had some cedar lumber stacked up out in the field
Mm-hmm.
and had some tin thrown over the top of it.
Yeah.
Said it'd been there 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was down in Clay County. I drove down there and picked it up
Mm-hmm.
and made both of theirs out of their own lumber.
So do you treat the wood and stuff like that, or does it what goes into like finishing, I guess?
A lot of sanding.
A lot of sanding? Yeah.
Yeah, there's more time involved in the whole thing of sanding.
Yeah.
From depending on which ones they are, they get sanded anywhere from 5 to 6 times
Okay.
from start to finish.
Yeah. And so you don't put any kind of finish or anything on
We
top?
do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, and most of the time we use a polyurethane.
Okay.
We do some every now and then for green burial.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some hemp oil stain that we use for that, because it has to be biodegradable.
Sure. So I've always wondered this, like how long the typical casket will actually last buried in the ground. I guess I'm kind of ignorant, but like I noticed like it's a lot of the graveside services I've been to, it seems like maybe the casket actually goes into like a metal, but I could be wrong about that.
It varies. It just depends on what,
Mm-hmm.
number one, what the cemetery requires.
Mm-hmm.
The cemetery sets the rules for that. If they require you to use a vault,
Mm-hmm.
you have to use one.
Okay.
But if they don't, then it's up to you, the family, to decide on whether they want to use one or not.
So when people talk about a vault, they're talking about what they're talking about that metal box, that outer shell,
yeah.
I guess.
They make them out of metal, fiberglass, concrete, copper, stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
There's all different, just on the price range, depending on what you want to spend.
Gotcha. Well, if you didn't use that, like, are the caskets going to stay intact, or is nature kind of going to take over and kind of?
It's going to take over eventually, and a lot of it depends on the wood. Like the red cedar, which we do a lot of red cedar, they would probably hold up and last longer than anything else because it just don't rot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. But we have both. Some people use vaults and some don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
so and do you work directly with any of the funeral homes around here, or is it just the people that come in and make the request and then?
Both. We've worked a lot with Chris Bartley.
Mm-hmm.
He works with us really well, and we've been here recently. We've been working with a funeral home out of Broadhead.
Mm-hmm.
We took one up there in June and one in July, and I'm working now to replace the one that we took up there. They are the oversized caskets.
Gotcha.
He's had several larger people up there, and he said that they wanted the cedar and said he couldn't get them nowhere else. And we keep a cedar and a barnwood in stock of the oversize.
Okay. So I was going to ask you about the oversized, but I guess it's just for larger individuals. And then,
yeah, I've made them up to 33 inches is the widest one that I've made. And, that one actually went to Quantico.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so maybe for like a veteran.
Yeah, he was a veteran. They wanted to get him into the, what's the other military cemetery up there. Um, Arlington.
Arlington,
They
yep.
tried to get him into Arlington, but they couldn't. I don't think he was ranked high enough. And also the size of the casket, by it being that large, it was going to take up more than one burial site.
Sure.
But we found out later that they did get him into
Yeah.
Arlington or
Yeah.
to Quantico. And then another recent one in it was in June. June was probably the best month we've had since we've been in business.
Mm-hmm.
We were really busy, but we had the honor of sending one to Tucson, Arizona
Mm-hmm.
for a border patrol agent.
Okay. Yeah. So I never really thought of that. Do you know, like, if like a border patrol, like, do they get like because I don't even actually, I should know this, and you may not know, but do they fall under like Department of Defense or Department of War or Homeland Security, or do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
This person, his best friend was also a border patrol agent, but his best friend's wife is the one that contacted us.
Mm-hmm.
And contacted us on like a Wednesday, and we tried to figure out a way to get it shipped. And because it fallen over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we couldn't get it there for Monday when they needed it. And we thought it was just not going to happen. And then she sends me a text about midnight that night and says that they're going to get the casket some way or another. So the next morning, she said she spent 6 hours on the phone with Southwest Airlines, getting everything set up to ship this casket. And then we also had to get an account with Southwest Airlines to be able to deliver it to the airport. And then I had to get the lining in it, get it boxed up and ready to ship, and get it to Louisville by 7:00 that day.
Okay. So quite the turnaround there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and we managed to get it done. And I had
Did you break the speed limit getting there?
I actually had my cousin that works with us had her to take it up there for me.
Okay.
Because I was so tired, trying to get all that ready and to be able to get it there in that time. I asked her if she would take it up there, and she did. She got it to the airport for us, and then they picked it up in Tucson the next morning.
Okay.
And then that best friend sent me a video of their funeral procession and just a history. This agent was their horse trainer.
Okay.
And he sent me a video of him with some of the horses and the trainer. And then they hauled their horses to the cemetery, and they had them all lined up. There's like 20 horses in a row lined up with the rider sitting on them. And then on the end, it has the empty saddle, the horse. And they'd also after they got the casket, they engraved the insignia of the Border Patrol in the lid and put his name and dates and everything in the lid that they engraved in it. And they took some small horseshoes and attached them to the corners of the casket. And then they took the straps and wrapped them around the handles.
Yes. So excuse me, does seeing things like that, does that give you kind of inspiration for what you're able to do with the casket? Or like, do you do like custom, like if somebody come in and wanted that done, would you be able to do that for them?
Yeah. We, most all the caskets, we leave the handles off and the lining out to give them that option as on the handles, whether we do a wood handle or we have the metal handles, then just different options. And it gives us sometimes we think we maybe give them too many options, but still, we try to leave to the end as much of that as possible. And then I'll do however they want them after they pick everything out.
Okay. So you said it takes you about a week to do one casket. So do you keep kind of like a I don't like to term backlog, but do you keep kind of like a backlog of orders, or how steady is business for you guys?
It has been really up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, last year especially was really up and down, but like I said in June of last this year has been a really busy. It's kept me busy to try to keep up, to keep them made back, which is typically what I usually do. As soon as I sell one, I start another one to replace that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a few instances where we've had people come in from one day to the next and want the same casket and I not have it.
Mm-hmm.
But we just don't have the room to do multiples,
Sure.
and trying to keep everything. Of course, I make them all by myself.
I was going to ask you that if you had one, if you had other employees, and two, if anybody else did the assembly and construction.
Matthew knows how,
Mm-hmm.
and he can help me sometimes if I need help. But
Mm-hmm.
I do all of them myself.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that kind of a personal choice to do it just by yourself, or
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. I really enjoy doing it, and when you do something like that yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it's yours,
Mm-hmm.
and good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't blame anybody else or
Mm-hmm.
do anything when you mess something up.
Sure.
And that's one of the things that really keeps me in it, is it keeps you focused
Mm-hmm.
because of the precision and everything you have to do on everyone. If you mind wanders, you'll mess something up,
Mm-hmm.
or cut something off.
Yeah. Have you, after it, obviously that would be frustrating if during the process of that, because I've started a new hobby myself, woodworking on some things, and I'll have everything lined up and I'll make a cut, and for whatever reason, say it's like a 4x4 piece, that circular saw doesn't cut all the way through. So you have to turn it over and do it the opposite angle. And like everything that I can see is like, this is perfect. And then you've just cut like a notch deeper, and now you've got to break that off and I guess sand it down or whatever. But like, one, that's super frustrating. And I assume you probably run into things like that. But two, have you had to, what's it like to have to own a mistake, maybe discovered after the fact, or have you encountered that?
uh, Small
Mm-hmm.
items, which everything I've found so been able to do so far has been able to repair.
Mm-hmm.
And like, well, this morning when I was cutting the overlay for the quilt on this casket I was working on, I cut the first piece 4 inches too short.
Mm-hmm.
Tear it out and
Yeah.
cut another one.
Yeah. That's actually, I'm going to ask this for my own personal preference. Where's the best place, like for like a hobbyist or somebody just trying to build, you know, uh, household, I don't know, like maybe 10 foot of board at most. Where would you recommend somebody go around here, do you think?
For what?
Just like just to get like a 2x10 piece of wood.
Or around here, there's really not anywhere to buy
Yeah, because I have to go to Lowe's.
building lumber. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Lowe's, or of course they have was it Daymar over at the Crossroads?
Say I'm not sure.
um, Salina Lumber Company, and
Mhm.
then Allen County Feed and Seed.
Yeah.
Those, back when we were doing contracting, that
Mhm.
we got a lot of stuff from Allen County Feed and Seed and Lowe's.
But you don't use those for this.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's all native
Yeah.
lumber that we use for everything. Um, we do some. Well, I have one in the store now that the lumber came from the old Moody building
Mhm.
where they've been remodeling it.
Mhm.
Where they had tore out, they brought to me, and I used it to make the casket. And I did a couple of chestnut ones that the lumber came out of the old dime store there next door to us.
Mhm.
They were remodeling, and one just gave me the lumber that they
Yeah.
tore out.
Okay.
And we've had, like I said, people bring their own lumber, and always looking, trying to keep our eyes, especially for the barn lumber like that. And I bought some at auctions and different things to different species.
Sure.
And those chestnut ones, that's rare because the American chestnut is all gone now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been gone for about 100 years.
Really? So what's like the most difficult wood to like work with?
The hardest one to work with is we have one that's made out of hemp.
Okay.
The company is called Hempwood
Mm-hmm.
out of Murray, Kentucky. They take the hemp stalks
Mm-hmm.
and they make wood out of it.
Okay.
And it looks a lot like chipboard, but it is where they compress it into those blocks and everything. It's so dense and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But we first started it back right before COVID. And we were working with a group in Louisville for green burial.
Mm-hmm.
And by it being yearly renewable and biodegradable, we actually had it certified with the Green Burial Council.
Okay.
And then COVID hit and all that kind of fell apart and it just had never come back around. We were the only ones in the state of Kentucky to ever be certified by the Green Burial Council. There's not a green cemetery or funeral home in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And it just never did catch on. But I still have one of the caskets there in the store. We haven't ever sold one, but I still have one. But that's the hardest to work with because it's just so dense.
What about the easiest?
Probably cedar.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an oversized that I made out of sassafras.
Yeah.
And that's fairly easy to work with.
Do you have a favorite?
Not really. I mean, I had a lot of people ask me if I've made mine. And I said, well, as long as I've got one in the store, I made mine.
Okay. Yeah. You ain't got to worry about it. They can just pull from
doesn't
stock.
matter to me.
Yeah.
I put just as much into
Mm-hmm.
the one as I do the other.
Yeah. I don't know why that just reminded me, but I don't know if you're familiar with Billy Graham at all, but like I remember he just wanted he just wanted just a simple casket. And I'm going to put that out into the ether. That's what I want. I don't want anything, too flashy or anything. Maybe put there's people that are in the military will know what blanket I'm talking about, but we call it a whoopee. I want my whoopee blanket with me. But other than that, just a simple casket is fine with me. So, now do you think that, you will, expand it all? Do you have a desire to expand it all? Do you feel like it's at a place where you just want to keep it where it is? What do you feel like?
For me, myself, I just like to keep it like it is other than be a little more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
By what we sell and the way we do it, I really shouldn't be able to keep up for the price that we sell them for and everything, but we still have lulls. We may sell 3 in 1 week, and then we may go 3 months and not sell one at all.
Right.
And just being a little more consistent enough. And it's like a balancing act with knowing that I really don't want to expand and go any further than what it is to keep that balance, to stay busy and not have too much.
Yeah. What are some things that you feel like kind of hinder that consistency?
I don't know if it's,
I'll make the joke that I made with Greg Tribble. I know you're not asking for people to die, but but I don't know if that actually interferes or not,
The number one thing is effort.
Mm-hmm.
It takes effort to come to us
Mm-hmm.
because it's too easy to go to the funeral home and do it all.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that really blew me away by one going to Tucson. As much effort as they put forth to be able to get that ship to Tucson. And then we have here people and most people even drive by on the way to the funeral home and won't even stop and look or price.
Or they'll run by.
Yeah.
Like me. Yeah. But yeah, so with the one in Tucson though, that was kind of that was obviously, a special request, but that was an oversized.
No, it was a standard.
Right. It was a
standard size, but it was one of our barnwood caskets.
Yeah, because what I was going to, put out there was maybe if you could uh, if the oversized market is avail, what's the um, if the oversized has a need, then maybe I don't know if you would want to advertise out, or maybe you do
Well,
advertise.
of course, that one was from the internet, from our website, that
Mm-hmm.
they saw the wife of the person that the Border Patrol agent saw it online, and she was determined that she wanted that casket.
Mm-hmm.
They said that she couldn't make her mind up about anything else,
Mm-hmm.
but she wanted that casket.
And how did she find it?
It
Did
was
you
on the
say?
internet.
But just looking, yeah.
So, of course, you can type in wooden casket, and most of the time we'll be one of the first ones to come
Okay,
up.
yeah.
That same way with the one that went to Quantico. She had found us on the internet. She said she typed in wooden casket, and we were the first ones to come up.
Pop up, yeah. That's and I mean that's what do they call it? I think the proper terminology for it's like SEO, but I don't even know what that stands for. But it's like if you have a good uh if you're set up correctly, like what you're talking about, when you type in, you're going to be the first thing that comes up. So it sounds like you at least got that right. Do you feel like locally that which I know you said you've been doing this for 7 years, you're in your 8th year. Do you feel like people know that you're there and that you're available and what you do?
We still have people that'll come by and then drive by or whatever and say they didn't know we were there, and they
Mm-hmm.
drive by there every day.
Yeah, yeah.
But and it's frustrating on that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause we had one. It was back in the 1st of June. We had one to go to Gamaliel
Mm-hmm.
to Bartley and Sons, and when we pulled up our deliveries, we noticed that that was the first one that we've had at that funeral home since July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It had been a year since we had one at that funeral home.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I think that I think it would be good to just, you've laid it all out, but summarizing it kind of in your own words, like what do you want people to know about your business as far as, uh, I mean, why people should use the wooden casket?
Well, one of the big things is the cost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're usually around $2,000 to $3,000
Mm-hmm.
under what one would be at the funeral home. You can get them online, and we're about the same price as what you would order one online for.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the big thing probably is the personalization.
Yeah.
We can make them as personal as possible, and to know that you've got one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every one we do is one of a kind.
Sure.
No two are ever even, they're similar,
Mm-hmm.
but no two are ever alike.
Yeah. And I know that, there's been some times I went to the funeral home and people have had like maybe like a vinyl overlay or a sticker of some kind on. So I didn't know if you all are able to do that, or would you all be able to like make sure something like that got done if that's what someone wanted, or
We've done like an insert in the lids. Stacy has a small CNC to where
mm-hmm.
she can do laser or engraving,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do an insert in the lid and engrave a picture or saying or whatever. And I'll usually put that in with screws so that if they want to, they can take it out
Sure.
before they close the casket at the funeral home. Just different things like that we can do as the other options
Sure.
to personalize. I was trying to remember. We also shipped one earlier that went to Hollywood, California,
Really.
and it was for a retired police officer
Mm-hmm.
that they'd saw it online, and it was
Mm-hmm.
one of our barnwoods.
Yeah. So what does you've talked about Stacy a couple times? How does she support the business? What does she do?
She does all the business end of it.
Okay, the administrative stuff.
Pays all the bills and keeps
Yeah.
the Facebook. We try to keep something on Facebook every other day, every other day, something to just try to keep it as active as possible. And paying the taxes and
Yeah. All the stuff we don't
all
really want to do.
all the business side of it. And she'll help me every now and then with the finishes.
Hmm.
So we brush everything. We don't spray anything. And she'll help me a lot of times when we go to brush, put the finish on.
Yeah. Is there a noticeable quality difference to you between like a brush finish and a spray finish?
Not so much because of the sanding.
Hmm.
I said we sanded so many times, and the quality of finish that we use. We
Hmm.
found a polyurethane that we get from Bear,
Hmm.
which is a Home Depot brand, but they don't sell it out of their store. We have to
Gotcha.
order it online. But it is a real good finish that really pops and
Hmm.
smooths out and don't leave no brush strokes and
Yeah.
everything. And we've really been happy with it.
So what? I'm a work smarter, not harder guy, but I would assume you choose to brush instead of spray just because of the I guess like the intentional personal touch that comes along with that.
Mostly because of the environmental. If we sprayed, we'd have to have a paint room,
Oh, okay.
especially there in where we're at
Yeah,
with the fumes and us having our showroom in the shop.
gotcha.
You'd have overspray all over everything,
Okay. So it's
and
yeah, okay,
it's
I got you.
just
It's less messy. I got you. Fair enough.
most feasible way for us to do it,
Fair
and
enough.
it works.
Yeah. So, how like how do you plan to keep the business going, or do you expect it to like do you hope that anybody comes and takes it over and keeps it going, or is it just going to be this is going to be here while I'm here and then after I'm gone it's
It's kind of up in the air. We're
yeah.
still Sydney is still interested in some of it.
Mhm.
Of course, we do. We use a lot of our scraps to make basket bases
Mhm.
for basket weavers. I have two cousins that teach basket weaving, and we make their bases for their classes and everything. And then we go to we've done been to the Tennessee State Basket Weavers Convention, and we'll go to the Kentucky and Somerset in October, where we sell basket bases. And Sydney's does a lot of those with cutting them out with a bandsaw and
Yeah.
everything. And I'm still working with her. She never has really wanted to do the caskets,
Mhm.
but still the possibility there where she might later. But of course, Matthew's always capable and able to do it, but just whether he wants to or not.
Sure.
One of my grandsons, he's 8, and he's always been real interested in it, but whether he'll grow into it or not, I don't know. He's
Mhm.
Joshua's boy through and through.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's this seems like it could be like a family
Mm-hmm.
business, you know, and something that really with what you offer, I mean, it seems like it should keep going. Like it's something that sh- should. I try not to use the word should a lot. I tell my clients that. Well, I can't tell you. I won't say on air what I tell my clients about what should is, uh, uh, but should gets us in trouble because we judge ourselves. But anyway, uh,
That's
this
like,
seems like it should be a good family owned business that just keeps going for what it offers. You
and
know.
that's what I said a while ago about I should not be able to keep up.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But we've had no a whole all around the whole area. We've had caskets go to Lebanon, Tennessee, Cookville. Uh, we've had two to go to Hopkinsville just recently. Louisville, Edmonton, Burkesville. We had one at Salina, Tennessee,
hmm.
there for Aaron White that had
Yep.
the scratch and dent.
Mhm.
Or Greg, his son, was a good friend of mine, and
Mhm.
he came up and picked out a casket for him. And of course, the ones in Broadhead. It's just been all around.
Mm-hmm. It's not just Monroe County.
No. Well, I said we hadn't sold any in Monroe County in over a year.
Yeah.
Countywide, we've
Yeah.
not. It's been over a year since we've sold one.
Well, hopefully this brings interest at the very least. Because, like I said, I mean, I could put two and two together, but at the same time, like I never really imagined myself going into a shop to purchase a casket. But I never thought about it like the way that you're talking. It's not like you just keep necessarily keep an inventory of caskets. It's and you sell them all. It's about who the casket's for, what they want, and it's very personal.
It is, and as far as the funeral homes, I can't make enough to hurt their business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't hurt their business.
Yeah. When it come to deciding to do this, um, we can talk about this. We don't have to talk about it at all, but I know a lot of people, when they decide to do stuff like this, they feel kind of like a calling, almost a spiritual calling, or maybe that's something they want to do, but then they pray about doing, and God kind of allows that. What was your experience?
There
with
was
that?
a lot of prayer involved, and the fact that, like I said, what my dad did on making his and hers, having them done, and then I've general contracted for 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
building houses and doing everything, and I always enjoyed the trim work.
Yeah.
And this is basically just a carrying on of the trim work.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like doing it and making things fit.
Yeah.
And I said, one piece at a time. When I'm putting these together, I actually put the piece, once I get the box made,
Mm-hmm.
when I start doing the trim work and everything, I'll actually put a screw in the center and put the piece on there
Mm-hmm.
and mark both ends of it.
Yeah.
And then take it off, cut it, put the screw back in the same hole and put it back on there.
Yeah.
So I don't even measure the length of the piece.
Right.
And that's the way the whole things are. As much as possible, I don't ever measure anything.
Yeah.
It's actually put on the piece and marked.
Yeah. Yeah. I know this. They can't hear it, but it is coming a downpour right
Yep.
now. I wasn't expecting it to rain today, and I was actually, which I told you about, the busting out the back of my,
Mm-hmm.
which after it happened, I was glad that I could actually like laugh about it and not be mad. That's something I've gotten better about as I've gotten older. Is stuff like that. You can laugh about it or you can be mad about it, and I laughed about it. But yeah, anyway, I had checked it's going to get fixed tomorrow, and I had checked the weather earlier this week, and it said that it was just going to be sunny and maybe partly cloudy until later this week. And I walked out when I was getting ready to go get something to drink, and I was like, dude, it looks like it's getting ready to come a downpour. So I had to like run to the store and get duct tape and a trash bag out of here and get it real quick. So,
Well, when I left the store, it was pouring rain over there, and I got here and it wasn't raining at all.
yeah, it's weird how it does that. I still remember, this is just random, but I still remember the first time I ever realized as a kid that rain actually moves in. Cause like as a kid, you don't really understand things. Like I guess I just thought if it was raining in one place, it was raining everywhere. And my mom, for whatever reason, we were out at the golf course and she was driving, we were leaving, and I could see the rain coming. And I was like, this is so weird. I've never seen this before. And, I don't know how little I was, but yeah, and still, it's just like it can be raining a quarter mile down the road, and then here it's just dry. I mean, it's not dry here anymore, but
yeah, where we live on a hill out there, we can see back toward Mud Lick, and you can see all of the area back to there, and we can always see the rain as it's coming. And especially if you're doing something outside, you have time to get in or put up or do whatever you're doing, because you can always see the rain before it gets there.
Yeah. Are you the type of person that you can that you can smell the rain as it's coming in.
You can actually hear it a lot of times before it gets there.
Because there's people that'll say like I can smell rain. Like I don't know why it's a big deal that I can, but there's people that swear up and down you can't smell rain. I can smell the rain coming in.
Sometimes I can.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I've gotten is my joints will just murder me if it's getting ready to rain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so weird how that works, but it does.
The pressure and everything, the humidity and everything changes.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. I turned 35 Saturday, and I said I'm halfway to 70, but I feel like I'm already there because my joints are just so jacked up. But
yeah, I'll be 61 in October.
Yeah,
so I'm getting closer to that Social Security.
Yeah. So what as a 61-year-old individual, what would you have to tell somebody in, me, like somebody like me at 35 years old? I'm still figuring life out. I mean, I've got good things going, but I'm still trying to figure life out. Does that ever stop, or do you just make the most of it? What advice would you give?
I think just one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know.
Yeah.
And especially like with the funeral business, you never know from one day to the next, just like that Tucson, where that all happened that one day.
Mm-hmm.
Within a 4-hour period, I had to get from the time they got it all approved and get it ready, and then the couple hours to get it to Louisville. And we've had get up of a morning expecting to go do one thing, and you get a phone call and you're doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the day, you're on the road to Hopkinsville or Broadhead. Or
I think something I've learned is, like, if you want to do something, and actually Greg Tribble said this too, if you want to do something, just do it. Like, I know you can't take every chance or every opportunity. Like, you have to be mindful, but I mean, I just feel like if there's something you really want to do, you should do it, and just give yourself that chance just to see if it works out, because I've failed enough in life to know that failure's not the end of the road. You always build yourself back up.
Yeah, you can't be afraid. I mean, that's one of the things that doing the construction, when you're building something, you can't be afraid to make a cut or afraid you're gonna mess up. Because if you're afraid you're gonna mess up, you're gonna mess up.
Right.
It's just, what are you going to do when you do mess up?
When you do mess up, yeah.
And that's one of the things that over the years, when I had employees, that taught me is it's easy to judge a person's character by their mistakes.
Right.
Because that's the one thing they're going to do. I mean, everybody's going to make a mistake, but when they do, what do they do with it? Do they try to blame somebody else, or do they try to make an excuse for it? Or do you try to hide it?
Yeah.
And you always hear out on the job site, the painters will fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. The painters will fix it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was cutting a piece the other day, and like I did what I told you. Like, I've cut it with a circular saw. It was at an 18-degree angle, and and I rotated it over, was doing the cut, but this time it's the opposite way to match it. But I was just a hair inside of that other cut. And so I had to break it off and sand it down. And I was like, this will be the part that goes in the ground. But yeah, I mean, I do think it, I used to be afraid to make mistakes. I'm still afraid to make mistakes, but not as much as I'm used to, as much as I used to be. I'm more about, how am I going to, am I going to own this mistake?
And that's the key. When you make a mistake, is and own it, and say, what can we do to fix it?
Yeah.
And that shows the best character out of a person.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the type of person, like, a lot of times I know the right answer, and I'll still go and do what I want to do. And I'm trying to get better about that, just like not doing something the wrong way to begin with. But then it's like, okay, like you knew better. What are we going to do so that we don't do this again? you know, and that's kind of a that's an ever going battle, at least for me.
And paying attention. I mean, that's one of the things, especially when I worked, I was a superintendent for Sunbelt Construction in Bowling Green. And you'd be out on a job site watching these other contractors and everything work, and you see them do something that is just 100 times easier than the way you've always done it.
Mm-hmm.
And you look, why didn't I think of that?
Why didn't I think of that? Yeah. 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 And then what is it? One of the most dangerous things people can say is we've always done it this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to adapt. Being psychologically flexible is a huge benefit, because I know that I can't make the world fit the mold that I want it to. I have to adapt
Mm-hmm.
to it, and the longer I went before accepting that, the more bitter I think I was becoming too, because like I would just tell myself this isn't fair or whatever. And it's like, maybe it's not fair, but this is the way it is. And so you can either rise up to it or you can just stay bitter.
And the frustrations like that I've had with especially a few family members and stuff, that the person when they were alive had told me what they wanted and everything, and then when they pass away, the family don't honor it.
Right. Yeah. And that's tough.
And I actually had one gentleman, when he walked, if he hadn't have said it the way that he did, it wouldn't have mattered. But as soon as he walked through the door, he said, my dad was in here a couple years ago and said that he wanted his casket to come from here. And he looked around, walked around, looked at all of them. He said, he got prices. And he said, I've got to go talk to my wife, which it was his father.
Right.
Never saw him again. He didn't honor his father's wishes.
Yeah. And something, this is just, I get in trouble about this with certain people in my life. I like to just throw advice out there when they don't ask for it. But, if you keep like a I don't know, like a ledger or something in there with their name signed on it, so you can say, look, they had it this way, that might be. But
the big thing is we've had, especially some older gentlemen that went ahead and bought theirs as a pre-need. And they said, that way I get what I want. It's already paid for. It's done the way I want it. And the family don't have to do anything with it. And, well, Chris actually has some on storage for those people that have done that, where if they'll do he's offering a limited amount, but he's offering storage. If you do your pre-need with him, he'll store the casket.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good. Is there anything that you came here today wanting to cover or get out there that you feel like is still needs to be said, or you feel like you've covered what you
mostly just give us a chance?
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't have what you want, fine.
Yeah.
But at least take the effort, put forth the effort.
Yeah.
To me, the $2,000 to $3,000 should be worth some effort.
It should. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I just think people probably just aren't aware. And sometimes you'll tell people, but then they'll just forget. They won't think about it. They don't store it in long-term memory. It's not in the general discussion long enough to solidify in that long-term memory.
And in that moment, we've had people who will, after the person died and they made the arrangements, they'll stop by the store the next day and apologize. I just didn't think.
Yeah.
at that time. At the no,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I definitely, I'll get you out there. And I'll tell you, if you can, send me kind of like a summary, you can just send it to me on Messenger or whatever, but just kind of like a summary of what you're offering, what makes your business special. And I'll blast it out there on my social media too. So,
appreciate it.
yeah, but I appreciate you coming out, man. And I think it's definitely been very informative to me, which that's kind of been what, when I started this podcast, was what I wanted to do, was learn about stuff that I just didn't know about. So it's good to kind of get back to that. And, but I appreciate you coming out, and I hate to send you out in the rain. You're able to hang out on the couch out there if you want to.
I won't mail.
All right. Yeah. What is it? Somebody I talked to recently, said, I can't get in the rain, I'll melt. I'm like, well, you're not a witch. And she said, no, I'm made of sugar. Okay. Fair enough.
Salt's the one that lumps up.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I'll get you out of here, and I'll get all that blasted out there for you. Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for coming out.
Coming out.